So good afternoon. Thank you for hanging around in the afternoon. My name is Karl Weaver. I'm a wireless market mobile device specialist for the Asia Pacific, Greater China, India ecosystem. I have been in this ecosystem with the OEM and ODM handset manufacturers approximately 3 decades. I'm a bilingual Mandarin Chinese speaking white dude from Boston originally. I've been in Seattle since '93. But I focus on Asia. I spent 10 years in Taiwan, 3 years learning Mandarin Chinese under scholarship from the Taiwanese Ministry of Education, and then 7 years working in the fledgling microcomputer industry in the 1980s. Came back, reinvented myself. I've been in the wireless since 1993. I remain in the wireless industry in many different segments. Semiconductor chips, smart card technology, embedded software, and of course the entire handset ecosystem. So I'm the guy who takes Western technology and sells it to Asia, specifically the greater Chinese world, because smartphones are pretty much the Koreans, the Taiwanese, the mainland Chinese, and now the Indians, actually. So fast forward, in 2008, I was hired by a company called Gemalto. Gemalto is the global leader in digital security, if you've never heard of this company. And they hired me to promote near-field communications in Taiwan and China to all the handset manufacturers. They hired me from a trade show I was giving a presentation. I spent 5 years working in Beijing for Gemalto, promoting near-field communications for mobile payment, near-field communications, contactless. And then I started to promote a technology that they bought from, they bought a company called Trusted Logic, which turned into Trustonic. They're promoting this concept of a trusted execution environment, which is a security operating system that only gets ported into ARM trust zone. Last year, I left ARM. I was working for ARM promoting embedded SIM technology, evangelizing that from 2016 until 2018. I've joined Rivetz because of this really cool technology. So that is kind of my background in this ecosystem. I joined this company because I think what they're doing is really interesting and really, really cool. So today's presentation is called Decentralized Security. Actually, it's about decentralized security, but the presentation, I call it a blockchain smartphone secret sauce, which is dual roots of trust security. Dual meaning 2 different roots of trust. Now, look, I'm not politically correct, and who the hell cares? Look, we've lost lots of our creativity and innovation on the hardware side because in 2001, in 1999, I was the Hong Kong representative at the WTO here in Seattle, helping the Hong Kong government to relinquish control of the WTO charter to give it to China and then eventually Taiwan. So I thought it was a good thing. Fast forward, Americans outsourced their hardware to China, to Taiwan, to South Korea, and we've been losing this ball game ever since. Now, this is a call to you software people. You're losing the innovation and creativity. Why? Because if you're going to innovate and create, you need hardware. The hardware is 10,000 miles away. It's in China. Do you get the point? This is a problem. We have no semiconductor manufacturer in the state of Washington. This is a tragedy. Okay? So I'm not politically correct, and who cares? All right, I have my blood pressure's rising a little bit. I'm alive. Let's go. Let's move forward. So my presentation, you got it? All right, mobile device security problems. Here's the problem. Too much fake data. We can just ask Donald Trump. We've got too much fake data. We've got decentralized security, but we need to protect the private keys, public and private keys. So cryptography is safe and secure on the blockchain. The problem is these things. They keep, you blockchain people keep forgetting these things are not safe when they enter the blockchain, because I cannot attestate, I cannot guarantee that if I write a contract to the blockchain, it's actually me writing it. Somebody could steal my smartphone and write to the blockchain. Something good, something bad, fake news. And how do you know? This is a big, big problem that very few companies talk about. My company, my CEO does. So it's really, really cool. Cybersecurity is constantly put opposite of user experience because security, it costs money for security and people don't want to pay. Especially lots of companies that provide software, they don't want to add the hardware layer, which is secure enclaves protect your technology, your identity, your digital assets. The lacks of measured digital identity, this is a big problem. I honestly think, this is just me, I might be pretty damn naive, But I honestly think that Apple does care about your digital ID, your digital identity, and your privacy. I think Apple cares. I don't think Google cares. See, politically incorrect. Good for me. New subscriber has new needs. You're going to be protecting many, many keys, not just your public and private key in the blockchain. That's you're going to protect. You need to protect, otherwise, adios, your cryptocurrency is going to be gone if they figure out your private key. Here's the problem. It's so simple. You go onto the internet, you go onto Google Play Store, and you download your crypto wallet. Where does it get stored? In the open operating system of the smartphone. What the hell's wrong with that? You can't protect it from hackers. This is a big problem. Why am I the only one here who's raising his blood pressure? Because we don't understand that when you download from the Android Play Store, okay, Android Play, when you download it onto the open operating system of the smartphone, Android operating system smartphone, right, there's no security there. And you're now going to use your cryptocurrency? Well, you're not going to have it too long. AT&T and T-Mobile have had users with cryptocurrency and they've had their money stolen. This is a fact. This is a fact. So we're going to protect your keys. This is what we want to do. Security needs to be built in, but you have to build it into the hardware. Fortunately, Karl has been doing this for close to 30, well, I've been involved in the Asian and the Chinese world for 37 years. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Our problem is except for Apple, there are no American or even Canadian now, because BlackBerry doesn't exist anymore. They sold the rights to make the hardware to TCL in Shenzhen, China, which is another Chinese company. We don't make hardware. This is a big, big problem. I'm not sure how we can solve that problem, but I know that our company can solve your security problems. If you have a crypto wallet and you download it, we can protect it inside the trusted execution environment. Let me move forward. So it isn't just about keys, though. It's about secure messages, and the IoT blockchain payments, they all are basically secure messaging solutions, situations, and it isn't just about authentication. Authentication, 2-factor, 3-factor, 50-factor. It's useful, it's good, but if it's just software on the smartphone and it's not being protected as it's trying to perform the 2-factor authentication, what are you doing? It's just software. Hackers can get to all this. Hackers can get to many things. So it's not just about authentication, it's about transactions, messages, provable controls. Keys and messages with policies, rules, and parameters, provisions actually. This is what you want to do when you have a crypto wallet on your smartphone. We're doing that. Simplifying, well, we protect against loss, theft, and also we're verifying the supply chain. I'll talk to you more about that. Delivering keys, messages with rules. You need rules. Otherwise, we're a lawless society of blockchainers. All right, this looks complex, but I'll make it very simple. Because of my years in taking software and embedding it into the chips, I can tell you that there is really only one way to protect any piece of software on a mobile device, and that is by embedding it. Now, I'm taking the case of eSIM because people are, eSIM is going to be in your life because, well, it's now going to be on every smartphone. It's on the new Apple iPhone, right? It's on some Google Pixel phones. It's your future. You can embed it into a connectivity chip. This is not a mobile apps processor chip, it's just a connectivity chip. You can embed it into what we're using, the trusted execution environment. The hell, the company's using a virtual SIM by just using this protected environment, taking your app from the RTOS, the real-time operating system, and putting it into a rich operating system, a protected operating system. That's what you can do with your SIM card or your eSIM operating system. And if it's an eSIM, it's an operating system, or it's a removable SIM. eSIM is also removable, and that's an embedded eSIM. But eventually, companies like Qualcomm and ARM are putting it right into the chip. The only way you protect any digital assets, the only way you protect any piece of software is putting it into hardware on the smartphone. Fortunately, this is being done. Let me move forward. So this is important. We take your private keys, we wrap the rules and permissions around those, and they're using the trusted execution environment, which is an operating system with inside the mobile apps processor chip, because ARM, does anybody know who ARM is? Raise your hand. Okay, not enough people. Shit. Do you realize that 98% of the world's IP for wireless products comes from ARM IP? Did you know that? But did you know another not so great thing? ARM was sold during Brexit to who? The same company that owns Sprint. Who owns Sprint? SoftBank. Who is SoftBank? It's a Japanese company. So basically, this is an ARM core processor that has something called Trust Zone. Trust Zone is a security firewall. It only allows one thing to go into the chip. Obviously, it's not like going and parking your car into a parking lot. It only allows the trusted execution environment to do things inside of that. We provide developer tools. Those developer tools are used to protect your crypto wallet, your mobile wallet, any kind of wallet. Apple is using this technology, although their operating system is not open to the public. It's not open source. But Apple is using this technology to protect the biometric authentication on Apple Pay. Android is using it to do the same thing, although it's a different type of protection. But basically, you're protecting digital assets and your payment credentials. Basically, think of it as a safe in your phone. And guess what? It's on every single phone right now, and we're not using it. If this is the first time you've heard of this stuff, that frustrates the hell out of me. It really does, since I'm the guy who started promoting this technology for the Europeans, because all of this technology is not American. And by the way, Qualcomm doesn't make chips, okay? They outsource everything to TSMC in Taiwan. Is this revolutionary information I'm telling you? If it is, please read the Wall Street Journal more. All right, so look, this is the trusted execution environment and ARM's trust zone, so we're protecting your keys in a chip, right? Who controls that? Actually, we give you the tools on any smartphone that you, the developer, can control. Not ARM, not Gemoto, not Trustonic. You can take anybody's crypto wallet in Spokane Crypto Wallet Company. You can take their crypto wallet and you can protect any Android smartphone that uses the TE. They all use the TE. Any Android smartphone, you can protect that crypto wallet. And you can charge for services. It's a really cool business model. Now we're doing something else that's interesting. We're working with Telefonica. Does anybody know who Telefonica is? This is the third largest operator on this planet. From Spain, Latin America, North America, Europe, they're huge. So we are promoting this concept of dual roots of trust security with the trusted execution environment and the SIM card as a split hash for your crypto key. We split the hash, between, as an applet, between the SIM card for the operator. By the way, not everybody gets to do this, by the way. Why? Because the smart card companies only sell their SIM cards normally to the operator, right? So we're working with Gemoto to get access to the SDK of the SIM card, which is a Java OS, right? It's a Java OS in the SIM card, because Telefonica gives us that ability working with Gemoto. The operator controls the SIM card. This is owned by the operator. This is owned by anybody who gets the developer tools. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? And this stuff is not expensive to do, to program. We have the developer tools. They don't cost you a penny. If you go on GitHub, you can get our developer tools. I mean, the best four-letter word on the planet is free. Anyway. We think, and my CEO is very, very visionary, we think that our technology is going to be the de facto technology used on a blockchain designed smartphone. Now, there's a concept called a blockchain smartphone. Unless you travel to Asia like I do in the Chinese world, you probably have never heard this term, or if you have heard the term, there's one company that came out in October with this blockchain smartphone called HTC. Taiwanese company, an office in Seattle. So HTC came out with a blockchain phone, but you need cryptocurrency to buy it. So how many do you think they're going to sell? I don't know. How many are going to sell in China? So in addition to HTC, a company called Surin Labs, which is an Israeli company, came out with a similar kind, but not exactly the same kind of blockchain smartphone. Theirs is even cooler. They add a cold wallet storage to a physical smartphone. It looks ugly, it's like a slider phone, and the physical storage is completely separate, but somehow interacts with the smartphone. And then the third company is a small company called Pundi Labs, Pundi X, a Chinese, Taiwanese, Singaporean hybrid company I'm still trying to figure out. So we hope this becomes the de facto standard. Let me move forward. This is our partner. It's their cybersecurity unit, which is called 11th Paths, that we're working with to launch this technology. Anybody here going to Mobile World Congress in Barcelona? Anybody at all? Look me up. So we have a technology relationship. They're going to standardize on our technology for every single smartphone that's going to be used on the planet for their network. We have a second European operator that's dying to jump on board. My job is dealing with the Asian handset manufacturers, mobile network operators, etc., etc. I will deal with that this year, trying to get the Chinese, the Taiwanese, the Koreans, the Japanese on board with this technology. That's another gig, that's another one of my duties this year. Okay, so what can and by the way, this is not relying on a Rivetz network. You have to have a network in order to supply the security, because security just doesn't come. You have something called a trusted service manager. We provide essentially a trusted service manager for this trusted execution environment technology. But what are our capabilities? We can provide a secure display that nobody can get to, no hacker can get to. We can provide key storage for your private and public keys, well, private keys, sorry. Secure PIN, we can actually allow you to input a 10, 12-digit PIN code on the display, but still inside the TE. So even though it's on the display, hackers can't get to it. This is cool. We call it Trusted User Interface, the TUI. Encryption and decryption, and of course, biometric authentication. Because what is biometric authentication? Nothing but a piece of software algorithm, which is resident in the open operating system of the smartphone. There's no security there. All right, what are the applications? We think mobile wallet is number one. And of course, mobile wallet, crypto wallet, what's the difference? You download it onto your smartphone and you use it. You're providing cryptocurrency, digital currency. You're providing these, you need to protect them. Chat and voice. We think that companies like WeChat, anybody know who WeChat is? It's a damn good program from the Chinese. Look, let's call a spade a spade. WeChat is the best chat app on the goddamn planet. It's excellent. WhatsApp, please do better. Line, please do better. We are also, and have also developed our own chat app called Chatter, but it's not released yet. We will eventually. But we believe that the chat app companies, the guys that make these crypto, that make these chat apps, they have added payment. Like Alibaba's wallet has added payment. WeChat has added payment. They will eventually use the blockchain for payment as well. Because, guys, China has a plan. Whether their plan is to control the blockchain or not, I mean, you just read the news. They want to control things. This is part of how their ecosystem works. They've got to control the internet, right? It makes perfect sense that they try to control the blockchain. Even though it's decentralized, how do you control it? Well, I remember in 1996, Bill Clinton said, the Great Firewall of China, come on. That's like taking Jell-O and having it stick to the wall. He forgot the Chinese figured out how to create sticking Jell-O on the wall technology, okay? So, storage and cloud authentication. These are the things you can do with the trusted execution environment. Let me move forward. But you need rules. Let's say somebody infiltrated your device somehow, and because you downloaded a malicious app and it's not being protected by the trusted execution environment, now the hacker's all over your real estate. But he's not getting into the TE, but he's all over other apps in your smartphone. Oh, it's 1 a.m. in the morning and your crypto has now been stolen. Well, that's it. You're dead. With our technology, we provide rules, enterprise rules, smart contract rules, user controls, and cloud controls on the device with the SIM card as a hash, an integrity hash. We actually can protect, and nobody except in your social recovery network of people that you know can actually get and do anything with your cryptocurrency. So it's very, very cool. Let me go further. So basically, Rivetz is building a bridge to your smartphone. The owner, and then the services. We're the bridge. We are the bridge. Move forward. This slide is, well, it's a second signature. We're actually providing a capability to have a digital signature within the chip. I won't speak too much more about that. This I will talk more about. Social key recovery. We have something called social key recovery. The HTC smartphone has this. So you can actually spread, not split, because the technology is already split on the device, but you can actually spread the keys to others within your personal social network using IoT and of course our platform. So you can actually back up and recover those keys. So if they're using our technology, you can actually back up and recover those keys. You can recover those keys. Let me say it one more time. You can recover those keys. Can't do that unless you have the protection. A new decentralized enterprise. Okay, this is not so sexy. This is sexy. Look at this. It was difficult to find these damn slides, okay? Look at this, 2015, I don't know, maybe that was the fellow who spoke in the morning. He's got one of these crypto wallets. Now, everybody's got a crypto wallet, and you can see what's happening. So crypto wallets are becoming popular in the ecosystem, and that's a good thing. We protect your crypto wallet. Now, this is basically some of the Chinese smartphone vendors, and this all started in 2018, by the way. And I joined this company and I immediately started to investigate what's going on. So I've had meetings with Lenovo. They seem to have one, but I don't know. I've had many meetings with Huawei. I didn't talk about Ms. Meng, of course. I have talked to HTC, trying to work with them, and then there's Siren Labs. We've talked to them. They all want to use the TE. Here's the key point. Here's the other problem. They're all smartphone vendors. The operators will kick them on their ass if they come in and say, buy millions of dollars of my smartphones. That's not how it works. We've got the relationship with the operator, and we have the trusted execution environment tools because we have a relationship with Trustonic that supplies the TEOS. The TEOS gets ported into ARM Trust Zone chip on the Android smartphone, but you need developer tools as a developer to use and program some of these features that you want. So this is what's going on with the so-called blockchain smartphone. And it's a real thing. Next generation mobile security, blockchain registrar, distributed trust, secure messages, transactions, cybersecurity protections, all built in. The security to operate crypto and chains, self-sovereign, provable cyber controls. It's all about trust. And that's why they used, the joke was, when I joined Trustonic, the joke was, what does Trustonic mean? Trust on the IC. Trust on it, trust on the IC. It's all about trust. Enterprise security for blockchain transactions. GDPR evidence, it's really important. So we allow for that tracking with GDPR evidence. So it's also very cool. Provable cybersecurity controls, embedded intent. We can know if it was actually my new friend here with the green tie, we can know that it was you who wrote to the blockchain and not your girlfriend who stole your phone. She's unhappy with you and she wrote something negative about you, some kind of fake news, which can happen. Maybe not, you're probably married. But anyway, the key point is the key point. We can determine if it's actually you or somebody else because we can protect who gets access. If you give your girlfriend or your wife access, now that's another private story that I can't solve. Now that is my presentation, and I'll take questions. I'm sorry, it's a bit fast, kind of like a bit fast. East Coast, Bostonian type accent. Bostonian to Taiwan to Seattle. That's me. Okay.